What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy enrichtv coming at you with another episode of the Lifted Opinion podcast. We're already on episode 6. Time is flying. It's really crazy. Today we'll be interviewing my buddy, a really cool person that comes into the stream and has been really supportive. His name is BobberDown. He's also a content creator and has a really cool, interesting story and a lot of things that we kind of connect on within the conversation that I think you guys will really enjoy. Really relatable stuff here. So without further ado, let's get right into the episode. All right, Bobber. What's going on, my guy? How are you?
What's up?
So if you want to introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, yeah. Guys, I'm BobberDown. I'm a Parky main Twitch streamer, father, a fisherman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how I identify myself, really.
How many kids do you have?
One.
One?
Yeah.
Are you gonna have any more, or you gonna stop at one?
I'm done, bro.
You're one and done?
Yeah, 13, and so feeling good about just the one. Don't know about having another one. 13-year age, yeah, but that's a big one, you know?
That is a big one. They would never be in school together and probably not even like any of the same stuff. My brother and I are 6 years apart, and my sister and I are 8 years apart.
Yeah, so 6 years isn't too bad.
It wasn't terrible growing up, but when we got older,
you don't gotta clash like in school.
True, very true. Yeah. We never had to go to school together. It was like just enough time for us to never have to ever be in the same school.
Yeah.
Which I guess is cool.
Are you the oldest or youngest? Or?
I am the middle child. Child. Yeah.
Okay.
Not necessarily. You're the oldest?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I don't know, like, the dynamic that you had growing up as the oldest versus me being the middle child, but like, did your parents ever kind of like punish your younger siblings harder for something that you may have done wrong first?
Me, honestly, I feel like it was like the opposite.
Really?
Well, I feel like I was like the guinea pig, so there was like, oh, maybe we don't need to be as harsh about this.
Really?
Like, by like child 2 and 3 and 4, like.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
That
like,
is so funny.
I feel like I slid under the radar with and stuff, you know. But like for the most part, I kind of feel like by my younger sister, who's like the third child, it's like it was like, yeah, she got off easy. Just
wow.
Like, hey, you know, like, don't do that.
Yeah, see, I was not lucky in that regard. Like, my brother, if he did something wrong, right? If I mimicked the same kind of, like, you know, wrongdoing in any way, even if it was like close, right? Like, it's just like close to what he did wrong. That was my ass. You know, I was supposed to learn from his. I'm serious. My dad was like, yo, you're supposed to learn from his mistakes. All right. Why in the hell are you repeating them? It's like, I don't know. Like, I didn't realize that this was the same thing he did wrong. So, I mean, it kept me on my toes in terms of like making sure that I didn't do certain things just based on what he did. I really had to start paying attention to what he did so that I didn't react to those same mistakes like later on in life. And I kind of thank my father for being harder on me about that, just because certain forms of discipline I think are really important, you know, especially like, you know, we're young, you know, African American kids in Los Angeles. You know, if we're not getting discipline at home, we definitely don't want to get it on the streets of LA, you know, rather it be with the LAPD or with gangs or the wrong element of crowd, whatever. So my father was really good about making sure we weren't in that kind of mess. But it did mean for some pretty stern ass whoopings and some pretty stern talking tos whenever we did things wrong. And I am kind of happy about that. I am. It's a good thing, I think.
I kind of have a unique upbringing in the sense that like, so I'm adopted.
Oh shit! Right? One of my best friends is adopted. That's crazy.
Yeah. So my parents are both actually Caucasian. So
Oh.
I have a multiracial household.
Oh shit.
So it goes. I was adopted, and then they had my brother.
Oh shit.
Biological.
Yeah.
And then they decided a few years later they wanted a girl, so they adopted my sister. She's half African American. And then, like a year later after that, they were like, "Oh, surprise, we're having a girl." So it goes,
Oh my god.
girl, and it goes adopted, biological.
Holy shit. That is so cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, what are your parents like? I know and I'm not trying to get in your business, but I know adoption is expensive as fuck. That's number one.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, the fucking hoops and hurdles you got to jump through. Like, they don't sound very appealing. So I mean, they must have really wanted, you know what I mean, this kind of a family dynamic. And I'm just curious, like, what do they do?
Well, so they got married, and then they actually tried to have kids for like 5. It was either 5 years or 7 years.
Oh shit!
Tried to have kids. They did like in vitro. They did.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff, and then having like
no luck.
Kids. Yeah, they were like, doctors were like, yeah, you're probably never gonna have kids of your own.
Oh wow.
They're like, oh, okay. So then they adopted me, right? So I'm Korean, so they adopted me from South Korea. I like to goof off and tell people, from North Korea, but
that's funny.
So they, some people are like, really? And I'm like, no.
Wow.
But so they adopted me, and then like a year and a half later, it's like, surprise, you're pregnant. Like, oh.
It finally works.
My brother. Yeah. So,
holy shit.
So my dad's a stereolithographer.
What's that?
So it's like a prototyping. So he's basically been doing 3D printing since like the 80s.
What?
Yeah. So like he does like parts casting and like prototyping.
Yeah.
Type of stuff. It's an engineering field.
Oh shit.
But, yeah. So he worked for Precision Cast Parts down in Portland.
Nice.
And then in 1998, we moved from Vancouver, Washington, up to Federal Way.
Nice.
South of Seattle.
Yep.
And then I was in Federal Way from 98 to this last summer, and then moved to Utah.
Damn. That's a huge shift going from the Pacific Northwest to Utah, I would imagine. How do you... I was just about to ask you, like, how do you like... Wow. Like, how do you like Utah? But then I realized, like, you probably... I guess I'll ask you anyway. How do you keep it like? How do you like Utah?
Oh yeah. Other than so while we're on the subject, other than the lack of marijuana and stuff here, it's great.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
How's how are the people and stuff like that?
Then now that aspect is interesting because it's not as culturally diverse, at least in the areas that I've been to. I haven't been super social, going out all the time everywhere and stuff or anything like that. They don't have any restrictions here.
Oh. So wait, hold on. What do you mean?
Really weird. It's really weird coming from Washington, right? Where it's like, Inslee's like, yo, mandate. Yo. Yeah. Quarantine, yo.
Yeah.
No, don't go outside. No, it's not like that here.
Really?
Just from the month I moved here in June still no masks in schools. It's all optional. No masks in restaurants. No capacity limitations. No nothing. Everything's fully open. You can go anywhere you want. It's wild.
Damn. I mean, do you agree with that?
I don't know if I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
I'm vaccinated. My family's vaccinated.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm just kind of
indifferent.
Yeah, I feel I don't want to be that person that's out there yo, you
yeah, you can't live your life. You can't do this. Yeah, no, of course not.
Honestly, if you're in this state and you're wearing a mask, you're in the minority. It's
wow.
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
That is kind of strange. I mean, I don't look here. Here's the thing. I think that it's important for people to remember, this is the United States of America. Freedoms and things like that is kind of what the country's built on. It's just, you know, this is a public health crisis, you know, and you know, a friend of mine had to make me aware the other day. Like, I was like, man, why does this have to be politics? It's just, and he goes, dude, everything is politics. It doesn't matter what it is. There is going to be a left-leaning ideal and a right-leaning ideal. And for whatever reason, you know, when people take a hold of that ideal, it turns into politics versus what the actual issue is. It could be, you know, it could be about, you know, just sex. It could be about the world itself, how we view it, if whether or not it's flat, you know, like there could, I mean, it's just the moment you start talking about anything, there's a way to turn it into politics. And it just tripped me out that that's what happened with this, because I just don't see the political like factor in this crisis we're dealing with personally. You know, and maybe that's where I'm being naive, right? Like maybe I'm naive to the fact that this is just the way it has to be. Some people have to believe one thing, other people have to believe the other, and that's the only way we're going to, you know, be a society, is because people are going to believe one thing and the other people are going to believe the other. And that's kind of like the census, right? Like there's always going to be like a 50-50 pull and kind of like a push-pull kind of situation. And I think it's a little unfortunate. I'm just going to keep it real. Like, I think it's a little unfortunate that we have people that care more about like kind of like going back to the way things were, where you could live a normal life, than obliterating this virus so that we can safely go back to the way things were, you know?
Right. Yeah, I don't. So it's interesting because, you know, Washington being such a left-leaning state and Utah being like the complete polar opposite.
Right. Super right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's wild.
It's wild.
Well, like, bro, like I came here in like November.
Yeah.
Last year, and it, you know, before election time, and you would not believe the amount of like Trump like flags and like signs and just like all the, even now though, like still it's just like it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe out here. I'm getting used to it. Seeing everyone in your chat. What's up, guys?
Yo, everybody! Thanks very much, you guys. I'm sorry. I try to give as much attention to the person I'm interviewing as possible. So if I don't respond to chats, I sorely apologize. My girlfriend, is gonna keep in touch with everybody. So thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate it. But yeah, dude, I agree with you. It's funny seeing the opposites, and you know what's weird is like I'm not a left-leaning guy, man. You know, like I am very centrist when it comes to a lot of these issues. You know, I fully understand both sides of the spectrum, so I don't really like, you know, like I don't really choose necessarily a side. I just kind of go with what makes sense. And I grew up learning about science. I grew up knowing that science has, you know, research involved, and it's based on facts 9 times out of 10. You know, you have instances where like the guys that find science to confirm that the earth is flat, I don't know if I trust that science, but other science in general, like I typically trust. And I've done my research on the mRNA vaccine. I've spoken to people that I know that are way more intelligent than I am about the effects of it and if it's harmful or not. And I've gotten to a consensus for myself that, yeah, the shit's safe, and I'd rather take a chance with this than catch COVID, and God knows what happens after I catch COVID. You know, I'm a big guy. Obesity is considered a comorbidity. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like being fat is a comorbidity? Holy shit. You know, like.
But how do you feel about like, so like, do you feel like everyone should have the choice to make their own decision, or do you feel like it should be, because I kind of feel like it's almost state by state, it feels like it's being pushed on you like more or less.
I think because
in the country
we live in a really capitalistic society, and the more and more people aren't going out and spending money, the more and more people aren't contributing to the capitalistic society that we live in, the more it hurts the higher ups. So yeah, they want you all vaccinated because that means people will feel safer and more comfortable to go out and start spending money and living their lives. And that's what they want. Inevitably, they want commerce to come back to the way it was. And that just can't happen with people like me who are stuck in their house because they don't trust people outside. Like dude, you have no idea. Like I love living in the United States because not only is it free for us to have this conversation, it's free for us to not get the vaccine if we don't want. You know, and like I know you feel like it's being forced on you, but it's only being forced on you if you choose to do certain things. Like if you choose to work for a certain company where they're paying you bank, and that company chooses to protect their other employees and let you go because you won't get the vaccine, hey, it's your choice not to get it. And guess what? You live in a country where you can make that choice, but you also have to be ready for the consequences of that choice. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. I could choose to not get it and I'm fine with that, but I have to also be fine with the fact that I won't be able to do certain things because of the mandate. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So
it's wild.
So besides Utah being kind of like right leaning, I gotta ask, what's the food to eat there? I've always been curious about like every state's like go-to food. You know how like here it's fish.
Utah, yeah. In Utah, it's fry sauce.
It's what?
Fry sauce and soda pop.
Fry sauce and soda pop?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now that you can get fry sauce literally any place you go to.
Dude, I didn't know fry sauce was that important. I just thought people put ketchup on fries.
You could go to Taco Bell and get fry sauce. Like 100.
Wait, what?
Like no cap. You can literally go to like anywhere and get fry sauce in the state. That's the one thing I've noticed. Like everywhere I go to eat is like, yo, they all have fry sauce.
Fry sauce? What the I didn't even know that was important. Weird. I didn't know that was so important for fries. Like I've been sleeping putting ketchup on my fries.
Yeah, well, and then apparently, I guess, you know, like hot dog on a stick? You know, like those like hot dog on a stick, like in the mall with like a lemonade and all that stuff? I guess that originated here. You can fact check me on that, but because I'm not sure. This is what I've been told.
Really?
It started in Utah. Yeah.
I had no clue that hot dog on a stick was from Utah. I thought that was something from Cali. Like I could be wrong. That's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I've only passed through Utah, and one of the things that I noticed that tripped me out the most was how fast the highway speed limits were. Like the highway speed limit was like 80, and I was doing 80. I'm like, all right, this is as fast as I really want to go. People were fucking zooming by me, doing like 100. I'm like, dude, this is scary.
That's the other thing too, and like my girlfriend will tell you too, and she's in chat. That's Lily Pad.
Oh, that's what's up. My girl's in chat too.
Yeah, but she was like tripped out, like because we would drive like back and forth from the hotel where she was staying and going different places and things, and the speed limit for the most part on the freeways is 70, but no one goes 70, bro. They all go like 80, 85, like 90.
Jesus Christ.
It's wild. And the freeways are bigger here than in like Seattle. You know, like Seattle's like mostly like 4, maybe 5 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all 5, 6 lanes out here both ways. And the drivers are horrible.
Bro, are you serious? You can drive that fast and the drivers are still bad?
Because listen, I thought Washington had bad drivers, right?
They do. You don't know. You didn't thought. They do. I live here now, and I can tell you they're bad.
And I've driven in LA several times, and I've driven in San Diego, and I've driven you know Northern California. Oregon,
so you know. So you know. Yeah, you know.
Okay, California drivers kind of bad. I think mostly they're just like more angry.
It's because we have to deal with traffic everywhere we go. We're looking for a way to dip and dive through it. You know what I'm saying? We're a snake trying to get through that traffic.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's gotta be.
But then Washington drivers, I think they're just playing bad. But at least I don't know.
No lies detected.
They're like intentionally horrible. I've seen so many people be like, "Oh, this is my exit." Woof. and it just like I'm like, wait, what?
Across multiple lanes?
Bro, like I'm talking like all of the lanes, like from like where the carpool lane would be. There's like no carpool lane, by the way.
Wait, what?
Like, there's like no HOV lane. It doesn't seem like it.
Wait a minute. You don't have a carpool lane?
I haven't been like everywhere and stuff, but like there's not like a real like designated HOV lane that I've noticed.
I can't. I already can't do it.
And we will go all the way from the far left lane across all things of traffic with just like barely any room at all to squeeze between the cars, and then just like boop, this is my exit. Like
no, bro, no. And they're going fast as fuck, so it's like.
And they're going fast, yeah. So
if
you mess up, it's like it's not.
That's a real crash. That's not no like fender bender. That's like.
Oh yeah.
Your shit could be flipping because of that speed.
Yeah.
Nah.
So I drive like a grandma everywhere, bro.
I drive like a grandma.
I'm not
I don't blame you, dog. I do that here.
Like a super
I do that here. No, I feel you. I do that here because for some reason, Washington drivers come out of their bag when it's raining. Like when it starts raining here, it's like they all turn into Paul Walker. It's like, all right, we got this. Like, bro.
No, and you know what the thing is? Like, and this is like, I mean, I've lived in Washington pretty much like my whole life, right?
Yeah.
And you know, definitely the majority of my driving life. And it's like every time it rains, it's like they all forget. Like,
yeah.
Like, what is this? I've never driven in this before, even though I drive in it like 70% of the year.
70 right? At least, yeah.
Bro, and then there's just like I'm like watching people like tailgating, and like I'm like, yo, are they gonna like be up? They're not gonna be able to stop, right?
Right.
Just be like, and I'm like, all right, well, like, what is?
We've been noticing that typically people drive really slow in the dry weather, like all summer.
Oh yeah.
All summer. I don't know what it is, but I mean, people are like this on their phone on the freeway. You know how when you're there, you're using your speakerphone, so you're talking like this, like, "Hey, yeah, I'm pulling off right now. I'm pulling off right now." This is people out here, multiple.
Yeah.
As soon as it starts raining, they put the phone down and turn into fucking Anakin Skywalker in the fucking Z-Wing. Like, I mean, they're driving at speeds that are unbeknownst to the mind. It's like, why am I being passed? Why am I getting passed in this fucking... And it's rain. Dude, I thought I knew what rain was. No. We don't know what rain is in Los Angeles, okay? That shit's an urban legend in LA, okay? Rain happens here, okay? Real rain happens here. This shit knocks out power. This shit floods the river. This is some real shit. Oh, it's bad. It's real shit. But people don't seem to know that. They lose their fucking mind in the rain, bruh. I seen like, it looks like a tidal wave going by me. People going so fast, all I see is the water spinning up from their tires. It's crazy.
Well, and that's the thing is like, so like, I was telling Lily while we were driving around, I'm like, man, the only thing that could make these drivers worse is if you added rain.
Oh no.
Like if you added rain out here, these guys they'd be dead.
How is the weather? What is the weather like in Utah? I don't know anything about Utah.
Currently it's 57 and sunny, but it's interesting. We get like when it rains here, it like downpours, like torrential downpour. Like you can get flash floods, right?
Like out of nowhere?
Yeah, like in the summertime and stuff, there was some flash floods like out near Zion National Park, which actually is probably about a 4.5 hour drive.
Okay.
From where I'm at. But like it'll rain and it'll just like downpour for like 30 minutes, and then it'll just be like boop, back to sunny.
See, that sounds like New Orleans weather. Like when I went down south to see my boy and we went to New Orleans, he was talking about that. Because one day it was hot as shit, and then I guess it was so hot it caused like this humidity dump, and it just started raining that night. And I was like, what? This is the weird. It's like schizo.
They don't get as much of the humidity and stuff because it is like a
desert.
High mountain desert.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But when it does rain, they're like not set up for it. The ground isn't set up for it. Like it doesn't like soak up the water like it would in Washington.
Okay.
The freeways, the parking lots, the roads, everything. It's not set up for rain.
Oh,
so
shit.
When it rains really hard, it's like a full on like raging river down like the subdivision.
That's what happens in Los Angeles. That's exactly what happens in Los Angeles. Like, there's no infrastructure there for the rain. So after it rains, dude, it pulls up pieces of the concrete out of the street. So we have massive potholes. It's bad after it rains out there really, really heavy. I'm not gonna lie, dog. It's refreshing being up here because after a really heavy rainstorm, shit drains. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can go outside. Oh man, let's go get some tacos. You know what I'm saying? Like So it's just not the same. It's not the same. Like, I think that's mad important too, and that kind of like segues me into like one of the main questions I asked in the channel, which is, how do you feel about universally legal marijuana? You know, because I mean, what we're talking about right now could be affected by the infrastructure. You know, you take the taxes that you charge for marijuana in each state, and you start putting it into social programs to help people like the homeless. You put it into the infrastructure plan so we can get roads fixed, add more bridges, add more whatever, in order to kind of further that state's economy in some way. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like we are like far behind where we should be, and the progress that we have made has taken like way too long.
Really? Why do you say that?
I just kind of feel like the federal legalization of marijuana, like I feel like that should have been done. Like, yeah,
but like, I mean, there are so many caveats to what we're saying, right? Like, there are people that believe that marijuana is a gateway drug. If you smoke marijuana, that it'll open the door to allow you to believe that you should try other things. Marijuana is harmful to your memory. People have been known to have pretty severe memory loss if they partake too much. This is what the CDC says, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's literally no research on marijuana in the United States that is looking for good effects. All of it is looking for the harmful effects of it and what it'll do wrong to you. And I mean, with all that,
I think that's human nature, though. You always look
for the worst
bad stuff, then rather than looking for the good in things. And,
yeah. I mean, it could be their agenda too. Like, I mean, it could be the fact that
100%.
You know, they just don't want. They don't want illicit drugs at all to be legal. You know, because then what's to stop people from saying, "Hey, why don't we just make cocaine legal? Why don't we just make mushrooms are legal in certain states actually." But let's make them universally legal. I mean, let's just make all drugs legal, because that's kind of a talking point of that side of the table is what's to stop other things from becoming legal and fucking up our streets because of it.
I just, I never got on board with, like, the marijuana, like, being, like, a bad thing, right?
Okay.
Like, because, like, for me, like, seeing people, like, get, like, hooked on painkillers or...
True.
Like alcohol, right?
Oh,
you can go and get all that stuff legally. Like marijuana,
true,
and hops are like extremely similar. To my understanding, they're like same family, right? Like
really?
The flowers like the hops.
I didn't know that.
And marijuana is like, it's my understanding that they're the same family.
I wouldn't know for certain, but if it is, then that's telling.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
maybe someone can.
Yeah. I mean, chat. If anybody wants to fact check him to see if marijuana and hops, which is what people use to make beer, are in the same family, like flower family, that would be awesome. They are. My girlfriend just confirmed they are. Holy shit, that's crazy.
You're gonna tell me like alcohol is fine, like people, because you can get addicted to alcohol fast, and it's a downward spiral. It's a bad one too.
See, but if you
want to go home after work and crack a beer, you're fine.
But a lot of people don't consider drinking alcohol regularly an addiction. That's the difference. Like, if I wake up and I gotta smoke a joint, or if I gotta smoke a joint to go to sleep, or anything, people consider that an addiction versus coming home, like you just said, having a beer while you watch the baseball game.
but then like what you said about looking at the good in things, right, versus the negatives. What positives come from drinking alcohol, other than a
I don't
buzz?
know. I don't know. I mean, I know that people say that you should drink a glass of wine for your heart. That's supposed to be a
That's
thing.
wine. That's wine. But
I
that's
don't
not
know. I don't know what beer does. I'm not gonna act like I know.
liquor, beer. You know what I mean? Like I honestly, I feel like because there are pros to marijuana,
Oh yeah.
cannabis, the products that you can make from that, and there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot more pros than cons
To marijuana
when it comes
versus
to
alcohol.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I am. I tend to agree. I'm not. I just have to play devil's advocate because we're having the conversation. Like
Right.
if it's one of those things that people think about, like, okay, I like to go home and do my thing, and that could be anything. Then what you're saying is completely relevant. What is the real difference? Especially when we know that they come from the same fucking plant family. You know what I mean? But then I have to like look at the other side of it. Like, do people have the ability to stay within a realm of control if these certain things are legal? You know what I mean? And does it help the cannabis industry, or does it really hurt it because of all the new added regulations that might dispel certain businesses within the industry? You know what I mean? Because, like, for instance, if it's legal in your state and you can do A, B, and C, and it doesn't really harm your business, and you're making a ton of money, but bam, it becomes federally legal, right? They instill certain new laws, new regulations that you have to abide by federally now. Your state can't save you. And then it puts you in a position where, shit, now I have to spend even more money on this, that, or the other. My overhead goes up. Now I'm not making as much money. It could put a lot of businesses out of business within the cannabis industry. So, I mean, I try to look at both sides.
But there wasn't like a, if you think about it, right? In the last like 20 years,
Yeah.
or however long, right? There hasn't been a huge cannabis industry outside of like the medical field.
True.
Because cannabis has been used for medical reasons, medical purposes, for a long, long time. It's only rather recently that it's been recreational, and especially for me, living in Washington, right, where it's like, dude, there's pot shops everywhere, every single corner,
you're right.
Every single corner.
It's like a liquor store.
And and it was like one of the things, honestly, I noticed about moving here is like, it's because marijuana is illegal in Utah.
Why?
So I haven't. It's prohibited. It's illegal in Utah. So I haven't.
What the
smoked
fuck?
or anything or partaken since I've been here.
No! Oh, Bobber, I feel you. Oh, man.
And it's not like I'm a super avid user by any means.
No, but it's nice to be able to, though, is your point.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, because I used to, like, at least, like, get some indica in me before, if I was, like, having a long day. I wanted to, like, relax, unwind at night. Like, I don't want to drink a bunch of beer, get all dehydrated, and have a hangover and stuff. Like,
Exactly. Oh, my God. That's some real facts. Oh, my God, that was real facts.
Chill out, relax, like, have a good night's sleep, you know what I mean? Like, and then just wake up and feel refreshed the next day, and, like, no real ill effects.
No side effects. Not waking up feeling stupid, groggy, or feeling hungover. My head doesn't hurt when I wake up. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
You're preaching to the choir, dog.
I know. And probably, honestly, the majority of your viewership and everyone that's going to hear this, like, for the most part, we're going to all be of the same similar mindset.
Yeah. But, I mean, I welcome the other side's talking points. Because I think, like, that's, like, we have to have these conversations. Because what I don't want is to have this podcast not be what it's intended for, which is to lift the opinion that marijuana is not the drug that robs you of your ambition, right? Like, this is what people say about it. Marijuana makes you lazy. Marijuana takes away your drive and determination. Like it takes away your focus. It just makes you a starving, munchy eating, low life and this and that. And that's
what, for me, like, and I don't know if I'm like dating myself here or not, but like, you know, growing up for me in elementary and stuff was like dare to keep kids off
Yes.
drugs and like, you know, scruff and gruff and like, yo, like any kind of drugs are bad, right? They're bad. Cigarettes are bad and all this stuff is bad, right? And then like become an adult and it's like, you know what? Like some of this stuff's like not that bad. Some of this stuff is like bad. Like stay away from like don't meth.
Meth, yes, meth. Yeah, don't try meth. Yeah.
Like it's bad, bro. But like some of it is like, you know, that's just like people's opinions that are kind of pushed on you. And it was the culture too. Like the culture's kind of evolved a little bit more.
Yeah.
But man, it's taken a long time to get to where it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And it's still iffy. Like it's still iffy. People are still like, I saw this episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where he had on Sanjay Gupta recently, and Sanjay had like, I think within like the last 5 or 6 years come out and said that he doesn't believe marijuana actually invokes any harmful effects. He thinks that it could be used in multiple instances to help with a multitude of different illnesses and ailments. And he was really the first person in the medical community that had a platform like that, you know, being CNN's chief physician, come out and say something like that. And Joe praised him on taking the flack because he knew, like, you don't want to be the first one to really do anything. You know, it's like, you really don't, like, if someone does it, and you kind of
like you're peeking up and you're getting a headshot.
Yeah, like you thought your head glitch was on point, but nah, son.
Yo, you get caught. Arrest me, bro. Yeah. You're over there.
Straight up, hey, no lies detected. I just think it's one of those things that that he said that tripped me out was the only country that he could find doing research to see the good effects of marijuana was Israel. What the hell?
Oh, that's interesting. So, do you know how long like marijuana has been around, and as far as like dated in history?
This is something I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so here's what's funny about that. The first time I can think about seeing marijuana in film and television was like in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Like, because I used to watch black exploitation movies with my dad. So I watched all the Shafts, I watched all the Bruce Lee movies, like all that stuff growing up. And in a few different movies, like as a kid, I didn't realize it. But now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, they were fucking smoking a joint. So I that's the longest time that I can go back to and find in my head that I saw pot, right? Like back in the 70s, 60s.
But I'm thinking like, I'm not even thinking like within like our lifetime or like within like our century. I'm talking about like history.
That I don't know.
Throughout human history, there's no way.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's only been popularized since like the
50s or 60s or whatever.
Yeah, even like the 1800s. Like it's got to go back like way further than that.
You think they were smoking this shit like during the Revolutionary War? They just pulled out a pipe and threw some bud, and like they're like, "Yo, man, we're about to go fight these fucking redcoats. Give me a second."
They had it in rolling papers, you know, like they did whatever. It's got to have been.
Maybe
if you think about like all the crazy stuff that they used to do for medicine, like back in the day.
True. Yeah.
Like, yo, they definitely
milk of the poppy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You look at some of the stuff that's like, hey, this is the cure all, and what's the ingredients? Like, chloroform,
I remember
poison stuff.
Yeah, they had to make laws around that shit so people couldn't false advertise like that.
And corn syrup. You know? Don't worry about it. You're not gonna taste it.
It's like the dude that made Coca-Cola. Like he initially had it like as like a cure all, like you said. Like, drink this, it'll cure everything. It's delicious. It's like,
Yep. that's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that you know, it's, and like my girlfriend was telling me that like humans actually have like THC receptors.
What?
Like your body has receptors, like built into it,
Specifically for that?
Yeah, specifically for THC.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know. Fact check her, because I'm just spitting out something she told me.
Damn. So it's like we're supposed to be smoking this shit. I mean, maybe not smoking it, but we're supposed to be using it.
Your body has receptors specifically for it. Yeah. And
yeah.
So like, and you know what's wild is like, I don't remember my parents like ever being like pro marijuana. I don't remember them like. Like I'm trying to think growing up, like if I ever had them like give me like the legitimate like don't do drugs talk.
Yeah.
You know, like anything like that. But like my
wow.
parents are very, very Orthodox Mormon.
Oh shit.
Like, my parents have both never smoked a cigarette, they've never done drugs, they've never drank alcohol. Okay, their whole lives.
Dude.
Right? And like I've never seen him do anything. I once watched my dad drink a non-alcoholic beer at the Portland Zoo when I was a kid growing up, and it was like an O'Doul's. They were giving out samples at the zoo.
What?
Yeah, and he's drinking an O'Doul's, and I remember asking him, and I was like, "Yo, what does that taste like?" And he's like, "Not very good."
Not very good. That's awesome.
But they've never done drugs or anything like that, and like now, like if they have like back pain, or they have like my mom has like arthritis kind of in her.
Oh sure. Yeah.
She'll put CBD like cream stuff on.
Does that actually work?
Oh yeah, yeah. My buddy uses CBD cream for like his back pain and stuff all the time.
Oh my god, maybe I should get some of that for my shoulder. That's crazy.
Go to the shop, bro.
Yeah.
Ask about it. They are like creams and stuff. Like it's basically like he's like, dude, it's like way better than like any other like back pain stuff I've taken. Like I don't even like bother taking like a whole ton of like because he was getting pissed off. He had to keep taking like ibuprofen.
Yeah.
He's using like BioFreeze and like all.
Oh
this
hell
stuff.
no. Yeah.
He just like buys this little thing of. It's like a CBD cream. Like it's specifically.
It's topical,
that,
like yeah, it's topical. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, just go down to the shop and pick it up and get a couple gummies and go back home, enjoy my weekend. I'm like,
dude, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I've never actually put that to use. I'm gonna give that a shot because I I partially tore my right rotator cuff. So it just feels so funky. That's the best way I can like describe it. Like if I were to like do like a bent over roll to try like pull up the bar and go like this, it feels as though like my shoulder's coming out of the socket. You know, like I don't.
Like,
yeah, and it scares the shit out of me. So like I started doing like physical therapy. I go in and I am not gonna lie to you, I feel like I was getting robbed. Like
no, you were. Yeah. So my buddy's been out of work for it's almost gonna be 2 years. 2 years now. Okay. And he had kind of similar thing, right?
Yeah.
Partially torn rotary cuff.
Yeah.
The company doesn't want him to get surgery, right? So first off, they put off like him getting an MRI, right? They were like, oh no, go get physical therapy, do physical therapy. So he goes, he does physical therapy until they run out of money for physical therapy, right? And then he's like, they're like, do you still feel pain? He's like, yeah. They're like, well, do you think that this was helping? Do you think you can come back to work? He's like, no. And then they're like, well, what happened? He's like, now my non-dominant arm is like way more muscular. Like this whole part of my body is like way more muscular than my dominant arms and this side of my body because I've been doing physical therapy on this shoulder and this arm is like I'm yoked over here now.
Oh my god!
I've been doing all this physical therapy. He just I was dying, dude.
Oh my god!
He's like, I look like Popeye with this arm.
It's like Lady in the Water. Remember that dude in Lady in the Water? He worked out only the right side of his body. Oh exactly. Man, that is fucking hilarious. Yeah,
so they finally broke down and he got an MRI, but he's been using CBD stuff on his bad arm.
Damn.
And same thing. He's like, yeah, it works great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the shop and get some of that because Yeah, dude, I gotta.
They basically told him it was like surgery is the only real way you're gonna like get that back to like being normal.
100%.
You just kind of live with it like that, or and even surgery is like hit or miss, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, dude, it's not 100%. Yeah, it's not 100%. Oh my god, why did I have to do? Bro, I did it picking up a fucking box. I'll never pick up a fucking box again. Like when we move, we're hiring movers. This shit's never happening again. I am not fucking dude. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. So I feel bad even asking you what I usually ask people about their favorite strains because you can't smoke up there. Like I don't know. I like damn. Hybrid's your favorite? Like what dominates, sativa or indica?
Sativa, yeah. Because mostly when I was like indica, like if I was going to like just be chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but like a hybrid, I didn't like doing just straight sativa.
Right.
I like kind of a hybrid, but it was probably more like a 60-40.
Okay.
You know? And I really liked like Girl Scout cookies, and there was a couple other different strains that I was like, okay, yeah, like I really like this. It's like not too much, not, you know, but it's like so dialed now anymore. It's like you can go in and be like, yeah, I want this with this percentage,
right,
this
right,
strain.
yeah, and they'll have something. They'll have something. Yeah, they'll have something.
We got buy 5 get 1 free. You want this? You know, I'm like,
dude, they don't have no deals like that up here. This shit is expensive. Like I went to the shop today, and
it's definitely more expensive than like what it used to be. Like,
bro, it's 35% taxed here.
Oh yeah.
It's the taxing here in Washington is absurd. Like when I was living in LA, the taxes for bud are like 15%. It's 35% here. That's a 20% increase, bro. For like the shit that I'm buying here, like I spent $53 per eighth I got today. Per eighth. It's $159, right? And then I had points, so he took 10% off. $144 for 3/8. That is robbery. Okay.
Oh yeah.
In LA, I could get top shelf, dog. I'm talking about top shelf. And you know, in LA, it's OG. The shit that we smoke here in Seattle is befuddling because there's no OG here. Okay, it is not like the thing here. And I learned that is really just a California thing. Like OG is something we only smoke in Cali. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. But it's not just Cali, because in Portland, they got some bomb ass OG. Like really bomb. There's a seed bank that's dedicated to OG out there. So I mean, I digress again. My point is the expense for bud here is a trip, especially when I'm not getting the bud that I particularly want, you know? Yeah. So I'm still figuring it out. I'm going to figure it out what I have to do.
What about oils? Do you mess with oils at all?
Dude, see, you know what? I have to like flip the switch and tell you how fucking bomb the fucking wax is here though. For the price of wax here, wax here somehow is cheaper. I don't know why. Like I would be paying $100 a gram for really bomb wax in Los Angeles. Here, $47. I'm like that's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
So I think it just kind of depends on like your personal preference, because like I have a lot of buddies that used to just smoke bud.
Yeah.
Like just bud.
The flower,
they didn't mess with oils. They didn't mess with wax. You know, they didn't dab, none of that, and they have all transitioned from mainly bud to
the oil, wax or something. Yeah, I did for a while. I have asthma, so dabbing like consistently just inevitably bothers it.
Too much.
But smoking flower never really bothers it to that degree ever. You know, like I'm always pretty good. So I kind of like mix it in here and there. Like I haven't bought, you know, any shatter or any diamonds or wax or anything for a few months now. So I'll probably get some more, you know, like in the next like week or so, most likely, just because like it's been a while. And then I'll feel like, you know, it's drowning my chest and go back to just flower.
what about edibles?
Now, I have a funny story. I agree, Darth. I agree. Joints first. I like rigs second, but right now I have a Vapor Bros vape, like the whip in the box. That's what I mainly smoke out of, just because the flavor is so like intensely good on that first or second rip. It's like really, really bomb, and I love that. I don't know. I've kind of gotten like addicted to just like the flavor that a vape gives you. But with wax, especially here, because it's so because it's so cheap. It's hard not to get a lot when I go in and get it, because there's a couple of companies out here like Cold Smoke that have some of the best diamonds and sauce I've ever seen. And it's only like 47, $50 for a full gram versus what I'm used to paying like anywhere from $80 to $100 for a gram of like diamonds and sauce. But when it comes to like eating edibles, I've had a couple of bad instances where I've eaten too much. Like, well, I think the worst one was when I took an edible THC pill, right? I took 2 of them. I took the first one because I didn't really have to smoke that day. I just kind of wanted to like be chilling. And I think it was Thanksgiving, so we were gonna go eat. So I wanted to like be able to like really grub. So I didn't feel anything like an hour and a half, 2 hours after taking it. So I'm like, fuck, man, this is kind of weak. I'm gonna get a little bit more and take 1 more, right? So my girlfriend gives it to me. I take it. Maybe 15 minutes go by, and I have this like really like insane panic sensation flow from like my stomach and then start reverberating out through my chest into my face. And I immediately go, whew, what the fuck is going on? And my girl's like, I don't know. What, are you okay? Like, no. I think, oh man. Both of those pills are reacting at the same time. And I am tripping. Like, it was the most intense high I've ever had from anything THC related. Like, not what I wanted intense either. So I'm like, man, and we're going out for dinner for Thanksgiving? Like, I'm gonna be in people's faces like this? Oh shit. I'm like fucking freaking the fuck out. So for me, edibles are like kind of like a seasonal thing. Like once in a very blue moon, like give me like once in a blue moon, we'll fuck with that. Like, but I do like the ones that are tasty. Like we get these ones that are like strawberry or maybe raspberry cream cheesecake or something like that. Oh my god, them shits taste amazing. They don't get me overly high or anything because I think it's like 100 milligrams is the limit here. So I think they're called Swifts. Really, really good. They taste delicious. They don't taste anything like bud, but they give you like a nice little buzz. So again, like I'm like in LA, you can get 1,000 milligram brownie, where you can eat a square off that brownie and be high the whole day. So I'm used to like really strong edibles if I'm gonna eat edibles, but I don't think I'll ever do a THC pill again.
I haven't ever done a pill. I've had gummies, I've had brownies, I've had cookies, I've had salad dressing.
Salad dressing? Holy shit.
That was a trip.
Yeah,
so, like,
that sounds like a trip.
This is like before like really like recreational marijuana like stores and everything. So this is like a while ago.
Right.
And I had a buddy that like was growing his own weed and he was like making his own stuff and he's like, I at the time I didn't know how into it he was or anything. But he gives me this cookie one day and I think I'm like 27 or 28. So this is a long time ago. This is like 9 years ago.
Damn.
So I take this cookie home, and I remember him like grabbing me by the shoulder, like one of those like church shoulder grabs, They come up to you and they give you one of those. Right?
Church,
and he's like,
church shoulder.
And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, don't eat. And I'm like, all right, like, chill, dude.
Like you kind of strong, my guy.
like me, I'm like, yo, all right, but it's not my first time around the block. Like,
this ain't my first rodeo.
He's like, I'm just telling you.
I'm just trying to let you know.
Yeah, so I go home. It's my day off. I'm just chilling, and I quartered the cookie up, and it was a Samoa, right? So it was like, dude, it was like bomb. I'm talking like coconut, like chocolate, the whole thing, right? But it was bigger than a Samoa. I mean, it was like probably about the size of like a baseball.
Oh goddamn! That's a big ass cookie.
Not
the thickness, but like the
yeah. But same exact like kind of recipe. And I was like took a quarter, I ate it, and I was just chilling. I was like, damn, that was like tasty. Like it was good. Like,
it just tasted really good. Yeah.
And I was just vibing out, watching like, sports and chilling, and then I waited like almost an hour. It was like 45, 50 minutes, and I felt nothing.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's whack, bro.
I feel you.
I took the other quarter and I ate it. I waited another like 20 minutes, nothing. I was like, oh man, that's why it tasted so good, right? So I ate another quarter.
Three quarters?
I ate 3 quarters of this cookie that he was like, don't eat. For the love of God, don't eat the whole thing. Right? I'm like So I eat the 3rd quarter, and then it hit me, and I was like, it was like just after I had like kind of fully digested the 3rd quarter, the first 2 parts like just came at me, and I was like, oh shit, like I remember sitting on the couch and being like, fuck, I'm heavy. Oh, I'm heavy. Like that's where my mind was, right? I was like, oh, why am I so heavy? And I remember being like, man, I'm thirsty. And I don't know. So the thing is, like, I don't know how long I was on the couch, right? I do remember that the level of the sun had changed. I remember noticing it, and I'm being like, I've been here forever.
No.
Like, everything was dramatic, right?
I've been here forever. Oh my god.
Like, I wonder what my friends are doing with their lives right now, Like, I should call them.
Yeah, make sure they're all right.
My roommate comes home, and I was just like so thirsty, bro. And I was on the couch, TV's in front of me, maybe like 6 feet, and then to my left there's like a pass through, like between the kitchen and like our like dining room area.
Okay.
And there's like water bottles on the pass through, like a whole case of them. And I'm like dying of thirst sitting on this couch, but I can't force myself to get up. And I'm like, he's like, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, looked up at him. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, oh, you're messed up right now. I was like, I'm so thirsty. And he's like, yeah, there's water right there, bro. And I'm like,
I can't get up. Dear God.
He was a bro, though. He had me a bottle of water. We were all good about probably like 6 or 7 hours later. By the time it was like time like for me to be really hungry for dinner. And I remember we went across the street. It was like, we went across the street, like the Ram had just moved over there by the Gateway Center over there. It's like just off the freeway across from the SeaTac Mall area.
Okay.
You know where that weird roundabout is right there?
Mm-hmm.
Right by the freeway? There's the Ram restaurant that's right there off of like 320th, I guess.
Yep.
And I went over there, and I remember trying to eat like the big burger thing they do at the Ram, and I failed, like epically failed on that.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was wild. That was that time, and then like the Lorax. I got crossfaded for the Lorax and did edibles, and I saw the Lorax in 3D.
Oh my god.
The last couple times I did edibles, really, other than like gummies here and there and stuff. But
holy shit. The Lorax
in 3D was pretty lit.
I was about to say the Lorax in 3D had to have been fucking some otherworldly shit.
He's like, I speak for the trees. I'm like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You speak for the trees.
I have to watch that again. It's been a minute. It's been
They
a
can't
minute.
speak for themselves. Come on, man. Someone's got to speak for them.
Yo, yo, thank you for the sub, dude. 15 months, man. I appreciate you, Squee. Bro, it's getting down to the wire here. So,
Yeah.
I do have one last question for you. When are you coming back to Washington, man, so we can smoke?
Oh, shoot, dude. I was supposed to come next month for some salmon fishing.
Salmon fishing?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I gotta get my fishing. My boy has a boat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got a boat. He goes fishing, like, he keeps telling me to get my fishing license so I can go with him and go crabbing. He likes crabbing.
Oh, crabbing is where it's at. You're like missing out on a
He keeps telling me. He says the same shit.
Or clamming.
He didn't say anything
Like
about
a
that.
fishing license for that. Well, for that you'd have to go out to like Ocean Shores or Grace Harbor, out towards the coast, obviously.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like it's like a 20 clam limit this year, from what I'm understanding, in Washington per person, per dig, right? And razor clams are great. You can fry them. You can, do all sorts of stuff with them. Clam chowder.
Clam chowder? Razor clams? All right, I'll have to talk to my girlfriend about that. She knows more
That's
about.
Easy. That's like super cool. Like, if you can time it right, depending on the time of the tides and stuff, you can make a weekend out of it or a day out of it. You go out to the coast. You get these clam guns. There's people doing it everywhere. For the most part, they're generally like very nice. If you don't know what you're doing, you can just be like, "Hey, I've never done this before. Like, would you mind kind of like give me a rundown?" There's lots of video information I could share with you and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, 20 razor clams per person it's a lot.
Yeah, that's 40 for me and my girl. Like, I mean, that's more than enough to probably make some chowder and some fried clams and whatever. Have like a whole clam, like a clam bake.
Yeah.
Well,
the BobberDown name just came from me fishing and stuff so much, and
I was gonna ask you where your name. So it's in regards to you being a fisherman.
Yeah, that's just kind of been my social media handle since I was like, in my early 20s maybe.
Wow.
So it's been for a long time. I've been Benjamin BobberDown, right? So if you go on Instagram and you check out Benjamin BobberDown on Instagram, you'll see not just like, recently it's more of my Utah life, but like before that, just fishing pictures for days.
That is sick. I'm gonna have to follow you then. Gotta send it to my boy and be like, I know more than one fisherman now.
Yeah. He ran the streets in Washington.
Yeah, right. We just live here. All right. He ran the shit. What you know about it?
Honestly, it's really funny because like I've actually like had people from California.
Oh, okay.
And even like come into my stream. Like I killed a guy in the game I play, and he came in and we got to talking. Come to find out, he's like, "BobberDown, do you fish?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, for real?" I was like, "Yeah, check out my Instagram." Checked out my Instagram. Turns out like a bunch of his buddies like follow me on Instagram.
Oh my God,
he's from
world.
San Diego. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I guess a bunch of my friends actually follow you on Instagram." I was like, "Yeah, dude." Get it, Darth. Let's go.
Yo, Darth, thank you so much for the 5 months. Yo, thank you guys for the hype train. I'm trying to stay composed to this interview, but you guys are going nuts in my chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
If y'all like him in a just chatting scene, imagine what he's like playing Call of Duty.
I am a bit animated. It is it's a game that gets the animations out of you. I mean, you guys probably play it like I play it. Call of Duty can either be the game that you love or the game that you love to hate. In that order. Because sometimes you have games where you pop off and nothing can touch you. I've had a game recently where I got like 10 bodies, didn't die once in Rebirth, and got the dub. It was fun. The very next game, I died off a spawn 4 times in a row, and then my team got wiped. It was like the up and down feeling that only Call of Duty can give you. Holy shit, chat!
Go, Troy, let's go. God, this is a game we love to hate. Let's go.
Oh man, Bobber, It has been a fucking.
You gotta hype your chat up a little bit.
Bro, yeah, I mean, they're going fucking. Oh, yo, Bobber, what are you doing? Yo. Thank you. So you hate it, Squeak? Yo, my man's deleted the game. It still breaks my heart to say that, Squeak, because it's always a vibe, man, when you got the squad playing. Yo, Bobber, come on, man, you're doing too much, dude.
Hey, we made it to the next season.
You guys are way too kind. You guys are way too kind. I appreciate it. DJ, can I get one? I feel you, dude. Oh, shit.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you hopefully playing with Troy a little bit this weekend.
Dude, yeah, I'm trying to link up with him. You gotta
work your way up the waiting list, though.
I know. I had to, fight for a spot. I asked somebody to 1v1. Went into their chat, said what's up. Didn't hear anything about it, so I figured, that's donezo.
I don't want to say nothing, but he basically gave me the green light to be like, it's time.
All right.
And then he'd be like, all right, assemble the squad, let's go.
Assemble the crew. I'll meet you outside. I feel you. Oh shit, man. You guys are fucking going crazy in chat. Thank you so much again for the hype train. You guys know you don't have to do that. This podcast is something that I just love doing. Bobber has been a fucking incredible guest. I want to thank you 1,000 times for, we're both in the content creation space. So I know any time that you're not spending playing, you're usually spending either supporting someone, building your content out, diversifying. I mean, so any time that you have, you usually try to use it for yourself, and for you to spend any of that in the podcast, I appreciate it very much, man. Sincerely.
For sure. Appreciate you having me.
No, I absolutely do. And again, congrats to you. I mean, you're doing something really difficult and getting incredible numbers. You're playing a game that, to a lot of people, is slow. I mean, it's methodical as fuck. It's hard. It's very hard. It's keyboard and mouse only. No controller support. This is a difficult ass game, Escape from Tarkov. And you're fucking thriving over there on your channel, man. So salute to you and everything you're doing. Congrats on your growth and your success. I'm sure it'll only continue.
Appreciate it.
All right.
We'll see you.
All right, man. Take it easy. Have a wonderful night.
When you get tired of the hackers, you come over.
If I ever switch over to mouse and key, I will let you know. And I will do that.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Peace. All right, everyone. That's the end of episode 6 of The Lifted Opinion. Thank you guys so much for checking out the content. If you are enjoying it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And also, in the comments below, let me know about any other topics you may want me to go over with some of the people that we're having on or anything like that. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys want to see with the podcast going forward. If there's anything else that you'd like to kind of see us talk about, or anything that you would find interesting to hear about. So also, Bobber's all of his socials will be in the description below, so if you want to check him out, be sure to do so. And as always, stay real, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.